What's up, guys, and welcome back to my reading journey. Hope we're all doing absolutely fine, and today, as usual, we're going to continue the book by Cicero on the ideal orator. It's going to be the 68th part of the second book, so let's get started. In fact, Antonius, it is a general opinion that the credit you give me ought to be given to Crassus, for it is unlikely that you will find any other speaker who excels in the two kinds of humor, both the one that is displayed throughout a continuous discourse and the kind marked by quick, sharp-witted sayings. His entire speech in defense of Curius against Scaevola overflowed throughout with good humor and joking. It did not contain those terse witticisms, for he was sparing his opponent's dignity, and in doing so preserved his own. This is, in fact, the most difficult thing for humorous, sharp-witted people to do, to take account of people and circumstances, and to refrain from saying that occurs to them, even if it would be extremely witty to make the remark. And so, some humorous people wittily take Antonius to mean exactly this, when he says it is easier for a wise man to extinguish a flame in his burning mouth than to refrain from uttering good sayings, where, of course, they make good sayings mean witty ones, since these are nowadays normally referred to as merely sayings. But while Crassus suppressed these in dealing with Scaevola and made fun of his opponent's case and argumentation by means of the other kind of humor, which employs no stirring insults, in fighting Brutus he used both kinds. He hated the man and thought he deserved to be insulted. He said so much about the bath that Brutus had recently sold, and so much about his squandered inheritance, and then those terse witticisms. When Brutus said, "Why am I working up a sweat here for no good reason?" Crassus retorted, "That's not surprising at all, for just now you took leave of your bath." There were countless examples of this sort, but his humor of the continuous type was no less pleasant. Brutus had called forward two readers, had assigned one to read Crassus' page on the colony of Narbo, and the other, the one on the Servilian law, and had compared some passages containing conflicting political views. Then our friend here showed his great wit, assigning three men to read from the three books on the civil law written by Brutus' father. From the first book he had these read: "My son Marcus and I happened to be at the estate at Privernum." "Brutus," Crassus commanded, "your father declares that he left you an estate at Privernum." Next these from the second book: "I was at the estate at Alba Longa with my son Marcus." "Clearly," Crassus said, "this man, who was among the wisest of our community, knew this big spender. He was afraid that, if his son had no possessions, people might think that he had left him nothing." Then this from the third book: "The last one he wrote, for I have heard Scaevola say that this is the number of genuine books by Brutus. I happened to be sitting at the estate at Tibur with my son Marcus." And Crassus asked, "Were these estates, Brutus, which your father left you?" And he testifies on public record, "If you hadn't already reached manhood," he continued, "he would have composed a fourth book and left a written statement that he had also had a conversation with his son in the bath." All right, guys, so we've done with this next part, and we're going to continue more in the next one. So thank you for joining me today in this reading session. See you tomorrow. Bye.